All right, let's go live. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Friday. Not very happy for me. That winning streak, it ended at 2 days. Tuesday was great. Wednesday was pretty damn good. Thursday was terrible. That being said, some positivity in the air because I'm cashing a real nice same game parlay on the Cubs. Cubs money line and Justin Steele's 4+ strikeouts, and they're up 6-0 in the sixth. So the way this week is going, they'll probably blow the lead in some way. But yeah, it's looking good. Hope everyone is having some better luck than me this week. Tonight, we got a couple weird start times, but still 14 games to go through. Considering this one's already in the bottom of the sixth. Let's go ahead and get started. And then so obviously this game started. So Padres at Reds. All right, I'm on San Diego. I'm back in the Padres, and I know the entire world is like, I'm so done with the Padres. I've had it.
Like, it sucks.
I mean, like, but that being said, I completely understand how they got to that position. Like, I get it. I'm gonna back the Padres here, and it's not because I'm tailing Seth Lugo in any way. I don't really buy his home away splits. I know he's got a nice looking home run Cubs. Let's go. I know he's got a nice looking ERA on the road, a 3.21 compared to a 4.94 at home. But like I said on YouTube last night, I'm not really buying into that. He's just coming back from he missed a month with injury, pitching against the Reds, who obviously everyone knows how good the Reds have been against right-handed pitching. I mean, they're hitting left-handed pitching too. So like I said, this is not a bet on Seth Lugo. This is a bet against Graham Ashcraft. In case you're unfamiliar with this man, he's the worst pitcher in baseball right now. And I know he said that about Chase Anderson, so there can only be one. I think I would take Chase Anderson over Graham Ashcraft right now. In his last 8 starts, eight starts, he's got a 12.82 ERA, a 2.18 whip, and a 7.63 FIP. The Reds are sizzling hot, right? Well, they're 0-3 in Graham Ashcraft's last 3 starts. I can't look myself in the mirror and call myself a wise man and back Graham Ashcraft. And Toast is about to do it, and I'm going to laugh. I'm going to be in the sauce chat sending laughing emojis when Graham Ashcraft gives up 11. So I look, the Padres bats don't really trust him against righties either, but it doesn't matter because Ashcraft gets hit by anybody. Padres losing streak ends tonight. San Diego money line.
Yeah, trust me, I'm on the Reds. I played it last night at 1:30 just so I could get the best number. I'm not going to sit up here and try to make a case or try to prove a point that Graham Ashcraft is going to have a way to shut this Padres offense down. Like, you can't, you can't do that. But what I can tell you is that this Reds team just continues to play over their heads. And that sooner or later, he's going to throw a good game. He pitched well against them earlier in the year. They didn't have Tatis. But honestly, like with this Padres team, the way they're playing right now, like I'm definitely not. I mean, I backed them all 3 days in Pittsburgh. I mean, like I am literally insane right there. But their starting pitching is fantastic. Their bullpens let them down. I don't expect that here today, but I cannot pass up this Reds team at plus money. They gave it to us 3 times in Baltimore. I took it all 3 times. And they continue to win. So at home, where they play much better with their bullpen pitching above their heads, it was a really simple one for me. It's public, probably. I don't love that.
No, actually not really. The public's kind of split on this one. There's some sharp action.
That makes me feel a little bit better.
Yeah, this is kind of a coin flip game as far as where the action is.
But it is the Reds at home versus a righty, so you know what that means. Jake Fraley over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. They're getting smarter. It's at 135 now, but I do not care. I've been paying juice on this all year and continuing to cash it. So until he can stop, at least there's like 2 in a row he doesn't cash, I'm all over it again.
What do you think the hit rate is on that in the last 2 months? Estimate.
90%.
No,
I'm not even exaggerating. He leads the team in RBIs. Like I could go through his game logs. I mean,
I believe it because I can't even remember the last time it lost. That's why I was asking.
2 days ago.
Oh, really? It did?
In the Baltimore series with the rain out and stuff like that. So, but whatever.
Do you know if the Baltimore pitcher that they brought in after the rain out was also a righty?
I do not.
No, actually, wasn't that the Tyler Wells game? The rain out? I can't.
I don't know.
I
just know he missed. I know I played it and he missed one in the Baltimore series, and it was a couple days ago. Because then the yesterday or 2 days ago, I did his hits, runs, and RBIs, his total bases, and his homer, and he just didn't hit the homer.
All right, let's move to the next one. We start off with a disagreement. Me and Toast are more often than not on the same side. We start off with a disagreement here. So this one, I wanted to get to Washington, but it's tough to fade the Phillies right now. What I'm going to do is I can't for the life of me understand why they're putting this first 5 total at 5.5. So I'm going first 5 under 5.5 in this one. So Josiah Gray's pitching. And look, he's gotten rocked the last 2 times he pitched against Philadelphia. 2 bad starts against the Phillies in a row, including one about 3-4 weeks ago. That being said, his 2 starts against the Phillies previous to the last 2, he was excellent in both of them. So I think he's due for a good start here against the Phillies. I keep saying the Phillies bats, they're winning games, but the Phillies bats aren't exploding like that. They're pretty middle of the pack. And then also another point for Josiah Gray, he's on the road where he's got excellent looking splits. He's got a 5.17 ERA at home on the year, drops all the way to a 2.48 on the road. And that dates back to last year as well. Josiah Gray, always a solid road pitcher, even though he's not having his best season. He started off so hot, though. He just couldn't get run support. Another thing, he's got some solid-looking numbers against left-handed bats. The Phillies are starting, their lineup's already confirmed. They're starting 5 lefties in their lineup today. And the reason you might be thinking after hearing that, all right, cool, so let's bet the Nats. The reason I'm taking the first 5 under and not Washington is I don't know if we can count on the Nats scoring runs on Christopher Sanchez here. That kid's been pretty good in his 3 starts this year, and Washington's lineup has just disappeared against lefties. The last 5 lefty starters to pitch against the Nats, they allowed combined just 6 earned runs. So the last 5 lefty starters combined to allow just 6 earned runs against the Nats. So they're really not getting the lefty starters right now. I like what I've seen from Christopher Sanchez. I think he can pitch a good game too. The fact that this number's at 5.5 instead of the standard 4.5 is a little worrisome. Clearly, odds makers think there are going to be some runs here early. I just disagree.
Yeah, I lean to the over at 9 on the full game, just because I do think the Phillies, you can count on the Phillies bats a little bit more at home. I didn't bet it myself, though, just because you have Washington coming home from a West Coast road trip, and that's just really, I mean, I understand that they haven't hit left-handed pitching well lately, but still on the year, they're above average as a team. So I assume that there's still lefty killers like Lane Thomas in that lineup. There's damage to be done there. And in Sanchez's 2 home starts, he dearly didn't look as good as he did on the road. That is true. But the road start was Oakland. So again, there's grains of salt everywhere with that sentence.
Yeah.
The pretty decent weather looks like in Philadelphia as well. So I'm just I lean to the over, but I just couldn't get there either with Philadelphia coming home from a road trip, even though it was just Chicago, and then Washington coming east from west. Just couldn't get there.
Wow, so 2 disagreements in a row, even though I don't really love this one either. So neither of us really care about this game, it seems like.
I'm not going to fight you.
Yeah, if this was like a real debate, I would put a poll in the comments to see what everyone else
I would be much more different.
Minnesota at Baltimore. You know what? Let me put a poll. I should do that. People like that. So Twins money line, Orioles money line. You know what? And I'll add over and under to the bottom too, in case people want to bet.
I'm really curious where you are on this.
Well, no, I think people like being involved, so I think I should do the polls for most of the games. I'm certainly going.
Oh yeah, no, I'm good. I'm just curious where you are on this game.
Oh, okay. So, Twins at Orioles. I said Baltimore pass last night on YouTube, and that's pretty much where I'm still at. I am going to bet it, but just a half unit. The problem is. All right, so it was at minus 115 about an hour ago, so I'll just put minus 115 up if it moved. My bad. All right, so first of all, I call bullshit on Pablo Lopez home-away splits. I know that it looks like he's much better on the road, but he's actually been pretty good at home too. He's got really good FIP numbers on the road. I'm not saying he's bad on the road. I'm saying he's not bad at home. So the angle of you see Pablo Lopez on the road, here's our angle. I think that's bullshit. I think this dude's solid on the road and at home. And I know I'm guilty of talking shit about Pablo Lopez as recently as like a month ago. Dating back to his Marlins days, he's just always a guy I've kind of ripped on. But I can't argue with his numbers this year. And I like him. I like Pablo Lopez. I like the spot. I like him on the road and at home. The problem is I like Baltimore's lineups as well. Baltimore last 14 days, 12th in OPS, 11th in WRC plus. The last 5 righty starters to pitch against Baltimore, they got to Luke Weaver and George Kirby and Bryce Miller. So I think Pablo Lopez is going to pitch a decent game. I think we can count on him for 6 innings and 3 runs. That's what I said last night, and I think that's a solid prediction. But the other side, Dean Kramer, what the hell, man? I mean, he's having a good year, and I know his FIP numbers in the last few starts are a bit worrisome, but still, you can't argue with this guy's production, especially at home. And then against the Twins bats, here's the kicker. The Twins bats against righties just disappeared. 23rd in OPS, 21st in WRC plus. Here are the last 4. Here we go. Here are the last 4 righty starters to pitch against Minnesota. These guys aren't dangerous to anybody. Bryce Elder, 6 innings, 2 runs. Strider, 7 innings, 1 run. Lorenzen, 5 innings, 2 runs. Olsen, 5 1/3 innings, 1 run. I don't think there's any worry at all about Dean Kramer pitching a good game here. I think he definitely does. Bullpen-wise, don't really trust Baltimore, but I don't like Minnesota's bullpen enough to throw me off. So I think this is like at a pick'em, I'll take the Baltimore Orioles at home.
Yeah, I played the over at 9. I just don't. I understand. Well, first and foremost, with Pablo Lopez, I don't know. This isn't like me, like he said, like a fade in them. I do think that he's a pretty decent pitcher, but I do like this Baltimore lineup so much more at home. And then on top of that, you have Dean Kramer on the other side. And I'm just not, I don't know if I trust him. I understand. Look, he's looked really good at home starts too. Like Seattle, Toronto, Texas. I mean, none of those teams got to him. But when we get to the bullpens, I understand that they're all rested as far as both of them. But Baltimore just played a pretty decent long series with rainouts and stuff like that. So I don't know if every arm in that, all those arms in the bullpen are 100%. And then on the other side with the Twins, they've got Lopez on the IL and then somebody else on the IL. Again, they're rested, but it's not the same bullpen as that has the whole year. So I just don't really. I do trust these lineups a little bit more. I understand that Minnesota didn't look good in Atlanta, but I do think they should have a little bit of positive regression coming their way. They did hit Kramer up earlier in the year as well. I don't expect that same thing to happen again, but I think that this game has like 7-4, 7-5 kind of written all over it in my eyes. So I'm going to play the over.
Guy in the comments said, fade the fuck out of Sauce on this one. Pablo is dog shit. Dude, I took the Orioles. You just contradicted yourself.
And just really quickly, Pablo Lopez, last 3 starts on the road, he went into Detroit and went 6 innings and gave up 3 runs, but he struck out 10 guys. That's not really a bad start. Then he went into Tampa Bay before that, 7 innings, 5 hits, 1 run. And then before that, the Angels, all 3 of those teams are the Angels and the Rays are pretty damn good teams. So it's not like he's pitching like crap on the road and it's just like this instant fade of Pablo Lopez.
Yeah. Poll finished 65% Orioles money line. So the comments, viewership heavy on Baltimore. Let's move on to the next one. Milwaukee at Pittsburgh, and I gave out Milwaukee last night, but I'm just sticking to the first 5 because that bullpen is in a terrible state right now. We'll get to that in a second, but I'm going to stick to Milwaukee. First 5 minus the half run. It was at plus 104, I believe, about an hour ago. So I'll put that on there. Let's scroll down. Oh, also, Prop Beaver has a prop on this one. I'll put it on the screen. Vito over 4.5 Ks. This is from Prop Beaver. It's around, he sent me the odds too, minus 102 on Caesars. So I'll just leave that at the top of the screen. So there we go. All right, so I like Milwaukee in the first 5 here because Freddie Peralta owns the Pirates. Even a couple weeks back when he pitched against the Pirates, when he was really going through it. Remember, Freddie Peralta is having, as a whole, a really bad season this year, and he was going through it, but he pitched against this Pirates lineup, which he historically owns, and he threw a good game. 6 innings, 2 hits, 3 walks, and 2 runs. Milwaukee won that game 5-2. If you look at the current Pirates lineup's career numbers against Freddie Peralta, just 7 of 41, batting 171 with a 520 OPS, and they have just 1 career RBI off Freddie Peralta in 41 career at-bats. So I like Freddie to pitch against a team that he historically owns. And by the way, I know the Pirates are coming off that 3-game sweep over the Padres. Some people might be thinking, hey, there's some life in these Pirates bats. That's not
No,
really
it's not.
That's what I'm saying. That's not really the case, especially when it comes to hitting starting pitchers. I mean, look at the last few starters to pitch against the Pirates. The only one they got to was that guy Ner. He wasn't even supposed to be pitching. That was the day Yu Darvish got sick, if you remember. The other starters they've seen, Musgrove, 6 innings, 2 runs. Yuri Perez, 6 innings, no runs. Brian Hoeing, 5 innings, no runs. Kyle Hendricks, 6 1/3, 1 run. Stroman, 7 shutout innings. Pirates bats aren't touching righty starters right now. I love the spot for Freddie. I wouldn't be surprised if Pittsburgh has 0 runs after 5 innings. And then Osvaldo Bido, I actually like. I think he's got some good stuff, and I think Pittsburgh should be excited for this kid. But I think we only need 2 or 1 or 2 to cash this bet out of Milwaukee. Also, Bido, he's got a nice 3.45 ERA. He's got some good-looking numbers, but a 1.47 WHIP. You can't play around with base runners at that rate and expect to keep your ERA at 3.45. Eventually, that's going to catch up to him. I'd also lean first 5 under because I expect the score to be like 2-0, 3-1 Milwaukee. And then, once again, the reason last night on YouTube I said Milwaukee has the bullpen edge, but that was before. I mean, they used everybody yesterday, so Milwaukee's bullpen's gutted. If you're looking to make a live bet, Pirates money line if it's a close game after 5 innings might be worth a look.
Yeah, the exact same bet. The only thing I just want to point out is that, yeah, the Pirates looked like crap in that Padres series until the starters got out. They got to that kid in the beginning of the series, but even the 2 runs against Musgrove was one mistake to Santana that he kind of got on in the first inning, and then they didn't do anything after that. I know Snell's a lefty, but he really shut them out as well. And then Milwaukee, understand that they're not scoring a lot of runs, but they're winning a lot of ball games. Especially in their last 10. So they're playing really good baseball. They're fighting for, good for them. They play in a central division that's pretty damn bad. So they can be possibly fighting for a division lead this whole season. So we'll see where it's at. But yeah, I trust Freddie Peralta. And this Pittsburgh team is still an automatic fade for me. I understand that they beat the Padres, but if you watch those games, that was just absolutely ridiculous. So yeah, I'm on Milwaukee here. As well.
Guy in the comments says, Sauce, you fade the line movement so too much. I'm playing the Milwaukee first 5. That has nothing to do. It's an entirely different market than the full game, especially with Milwaukee's bullpen being the way it is. So the money and the action coming in on the full game money line could be completely different than the stuff coming in on the first 5. Like I said, entirely different market. So let's move on to the next game. I forgot to do a poll. I always forget. Boston at Toronto. I'm going to do the poll now before I forget. During football season, I'm going to have someone producing the show that could remember to do that. Because during baseball, I can get away with doing it myself, but there's going to be so many people in here on those Sunday morning shows. It's going to be insanity. All right, so Boston, Toronto. I'm on the Blue Jays here, definitely. Toronto's bats are just done. I'm going Toronto -1.5. Boston team total under 3.5. Both of those bets at heavy plus money. I'm also betting the Toronto money line, too. Definitely on the Blue Jays. Not crazy about fading James Paxton. That's probably the only aspect of this bet I have a little bit of worry about. But there are a couple bright sides there. I mean, first of all, look at the last 3 opponents for James Paxton. The Rockies, the Twins, and the White Sox. 3 teams, their rankings against left-handed pitching in the last 30 days, 24th, 25th, and 29th. Not trying to take away from any of James Paxton's recent success, but he's pitched against 3 lineups that are bottom 5 or 6 in the league against lefties. Any lefties going to have some fortunate-looking numbers given that scheduling. And look at the Blue Jays' numbers against left-handed pitching in the last 14 days. 6th in WRC+, 7th in OPS. This is not normally a lineup that you would expect to crush lefties, but they are right now. They've only seen 2 lefty starters in the entire month of June, but those 2 starters were Martin Perez and Framber Valdez, and they scored on both of them. On the other side, we got Jose Barrios pitching, and I think Jose Barrios might be a bit overvalued at this time, but still a guy that I trust as a whole, and especially at home in Toronto. But, I mean, overall, this is just a fade of the Boston bats. The Red Sox are 1-7 in their last 8 games. I mean, have you seen what they've been scoring? Watch this. I'm pulling it up real quick because this is crazy. They're not scoring any runs, this team.
Boston. 0, 2, 1, 1, 4, 3, 0, 4, 10.
Yeah. So, I mean, in their last let's say 8 games, they're averaging like, 2 runs a game? I'm fading this lineup, and I think Toronto's able to get to Paxton.
Yeah, I'm just not there. I'm on Boston. I'm taking the money line. Spot I like in general. They look like dog crap at home against a Miami team and bullpen that can really pitch. It's hard for really. I mean, I'm not trying to make a case and say that they should then score a whole bunch of runs in the other games as well against the White Sox, but at the same time, I don't believe that the Boston bats are this bad. They've also had some success against Berrios. It was in Boston. I'll give you that. But they did see him earlier this year, and the guys in the top of their lineup like Duran and Verdugo have really good numbers off of him. Devers has some power slugging numbers off of him as well. I just think this is a decent buy low spot for Boston with the Toronto team that, frankly, has been winning games, but you don't really get points in my book for beating up on Oakland. And they lost the first game of that series, so they were kind of saving face. And then against the Giants, they won the games, but they scored 8 runs in 3 games. That's not really that impressive to me. And like Saw said, they haven't seen a whole bunch of left-handed pitching either this month. So I'll take my chance at the Boston at a big, nice plus price.
All right, another disagreement, and the poll ends at, it looks like 65% on Toronto, 24%. Slightly more people on the under than the over. Let's move on to the next one. Giants at Mets. I'm starting the poll now so I don't forget.
And also to the people in the comments about me betting against the Braves. Yeah, I've bet against the Braves, but I also live bet them against them a lot. And their bullpen in that Cincinnati series didn't do anything. But yeah, it's all good.
All right, so I'm on the Mets here. Not a huge bet by any means. And the best line available about an hour ago was Mets at plus 118.
I thought San Francisco was your new favorite team.
I like the. I mean, I did win a good amount of bets, but then I lost one of the top. So I won like 5 Giants bets in 6 days, but then I had them as one of the top bets the day they got smacked. So me and the Giants aren't on speaking terms. Nah, I'm cool. I'm just kidding. I'm cool with the Giants. So actually, Prop Beaver did these notes, but just to sum them up, we're talking about Alex Cobb on the road, and his home away splits. You already know what it is. I mean, This is no stranger to anybody. Alex Cobb on the road is somebody you can fade. Carrasco last year was better at home. I don't know how much faith I have in him. My notes are so scrambled in this one, but I'm on the Mets. It's one of the most public plays on the board. Like I said, Prop Beaver did the notes for that one, so it's all his writing, and I don't want to sit here and try to decipher it. So you can see public heavy on the Giants here. I'll take the Mets at home after getting swept by the Brewers.
Oh, okay. The public's heavy on the Giants, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought you said the Mets for a second, and I was like, oh, man, I'm screwed. Okay, but yeah. Yeah, I'm on the Mets as well. I understand. Look, the Giants just really haven't been playing really good baseball their last couple games. I mean, 1 run, 3 runs, 2 runs. And then they got to get on a plane and travel to New York against a team that I understand. I mean, they let me down last night against Milwaukee. But again, their bats have still been pretty decent over the last month. And Carrasco, his last start at home, really wasn't good against St. Louis, but he did look good against the Phillies. I don't know. I just feel like this is the type of game the Mets win when you don't think that they're going to win. I don't know. I can't seem to get this team right, either of the Padres, so I might be walking down a bad trap, but I'm on the Mets as well.
I mean, it's a half unit. It's one of my smallest bets of the night. So
yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, I'm not good. Let's see what the poll says. Shocker. Everyone's on the Giants. 71% of the votes come in on the Giants. All right, let's move on to the next one.
If it wasn't as public, I'd probably be there. It's just really hard to back a team that's not scoring, that's super public, against a team like the Mets that you never know when they're going to put up 8.
Yeah. This is an ultimate pass for me. I have no idea. I mean, the Braves are a little overpriced. I don't think people realize how good Miami's been playing. But at the same time, I'm not trying to fade the Braves either. So this is just the ultimate pass. I think this is going to be a cool series. We'll see. Let's see how this one goes, and maybe I'll make a play on the second or third game of it. But I'm going to pass on game 1.
Yeah. I I would love to sit up here and tell you that I'm taking Miami money line. I would love that. But the fact of the matter is that bullpen is absolutely taxed from taking care of Boston. Their top 3 guys all went back-to-back nights. So I can't sit up here with a straight face. What I can do is tell you that I think Miami can get to Soroka. I think this number is a little bit too low. So Miami team total over 4 at minus 120. I'm going to take a shot at. Jazz Chisholm looks good. I played his total bases. Yeah, Cooper's back in the lineup. I just truly think that this Miami team is completely undervalued right now. Again, I would love to take Miami at that big price, but nobody in that bullpen, the top 3 arms aren't there. It sucks. So I'll take Miami and the team total. Just score some runs. Over would probably be well too.
Yeah, so what was that team total at? 4.5?
4. I got it at 4 at minus 120. There's 4.5s out there at plus money, I think. But yeah.
Okay, so Miami team total over. All right, let's move on to the next one. Oh, I put a poll up late. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, everyone's picking the Braves. Actually, there's a lot of bets on the total on that one. 12% over, 9% under. Next is Houston at Texas, and I don't know if I'm being suckered into this bet, but of course I'm on the Astros at plus 150.
Yeah, I know. Like what?
Have you watched the Astros lineup in the last few days? They're absolutely explosive right now.
I was thinking that you were going to come in here and tell me some crazy something about
No, I'm on Houston at this price. The bats are red hot.
Yeah.
So I mean,
not to mention that John Gray's dealing with blister issues. So I mean, what happens if that blister opens? You're going to get a whole bunch of innings of the Texas bullpen. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, and the Astros bats against righties, like I said, red hot. Last 7 righty starters to pitch against the Houston Astros have an 8.24 ERA and 1.86 WHIP in those games. Over the last 2 weeks, they're 7th in WRC plus, 6th in isolated power, and those numbers are before the Wainwright start. Was when we did these notes. The game had ended, but Fangraphs doesn't update their stuff until the next morning, so they're going to be even higher than that now. Now, Houston doesn't have the best career numbers against John Gray. I'll give them that. They're hitting just 186 lifetime off Gray. Bregman, Altuve, and Tucker combined are just 1 of 23 lifetime off him. That being said, I mean, still, in his last 3 starts against the Astros, Texas is 0-3. So they've lost 3 John Gray starts in a row. And John Gray's numbers in those games, 5.11 ERA and a 145 whip. So how much weight do you even put into those career numbers? I don't think they mean anything.
Not much.
Yeah, I don't think they mean anything at all. And I know John Gray as a whole has been great over the last 10 weeks, let's say. But we just saw him get lit up by Toronto. He hasn't seen a ton of tough lineups. If there's one lineup to just follow up and do exactly what Toronto did, it's the Houston Astros right now. Don't have a ton of faith in Ronel Blanco, but I will say I think this Rangers lineup is, I don't want to say slumping. I'll say slumping by Ranger standards. They're definitely not crushing the baseball like they were a month and a half ago. And then the bullpen edge, I guess Texas has been a little better, but Houston has all their high leverage arms rested. So at plus 150, how do you not do it?
Yeah, it wasn't even a question for me. John Gray's been fantastic this year. There's no question about that. I'm not trying to take anything away from him, but there's a reason that he hasn't pitched much lately. It's because he's been dealing with the blister. It's probably fine now. I'm not trying to say that I think he's going to leave the game with a blister injury, but the fact of the matter is it's still there, and it's not 100% healed yet. And honestly, this Texas team, I mean, they just got done. They lost a couple games in New York. I'll give them that. Sometimes that happens. And then they came home and yeah, they won 2 games against Detroit, but they also lost 2. And it's just really hard to think that this Texas team should be a minus 165 favorite against a team like Houston that has been at the top of this division. Now Texas is like leading to the division, and now the Houston Astros are trying to catch them. So you got like this even more motivation there. I truly think that this Astros team clicked after they lost that game on Saturday to the Dodgers after scoring 7 runs. And we saw them come back on Sunday Night Baseball and slaughter the Dodgers. And they looked really good in St. Louis. So, yeah, I'm willing to take my shot with the Astros. It was an easy one for me.
Yeah. All right, next game. Dodgers at Royals. This one kind of sucks. I'm not even going to put a poll up or anything. I'll say Royals are pass, but this is a pass. Toast actually
fantastic spot.
Yeah, Toast was the one that pointed this out in the chat last night. You got the Dodgers not only coming off a series at Coors Field, but the game was delayed by rain. So they're coming off a series in Coors Field that ended like 8 hours ago. Historically, fading a team coming out of Coors Field is a positive thing, but I don't know. I mean, the Royals against Bobby Miller. Oh, you know what? Prop Beaver has a prop in this one. He said he really likes it too, so I'll put his prop up. Bobby Miller over 5.5 Ks it's at plus. I'll put plus 105. I forget exactly where it is, but somewhere in there it's plus money. I don't have his notes or anything, but he told me to put it. He was like, he gave this one to me, sent it to me in an email, so he likes it. It's on his Twitter account. He lists all his notes, so if you're interested in that.
Yeah, like I said, I would love to play the Dodgers here. But it's just really, really hard in that spot. The fact that Beaver likes Bobby Miller, I mean, if I had to make gun to my head, like maybe Bobby Miller to record a win at plus 120. I don't think the Dodgers lose, but I don't really want to pay minus 135 to lay 1.5. Again, it's just a spot thing. It's just not where I want to put my money right now.
All right, next game.
I wouldn't bet KC though. Like, there's no chance in hell.
Right. Tigers at Rockies. Kind of went back and forth on this one, but the line movement points were to Colorado here. So
this is weird.
This is just a strict play on the line movement. I am not going to kick down the door to get you to tail me on this one. Everyone, and I mean everyone in the world, look how public this is. The entire world is betting the Tigers, and the line has dropped about 15 cents towards Colorado. Maybe the odds makers are calling a bluff on the Detroit Tigers' recent numbers against lefties. Who knows? Last night I said over. I probably would still like the over, but I'm just going to bet the Rockies and play the line movement.
Yeah, I was looking at this. I was hoping I was trying to figure out the same thing. I was trying to figure out if I was like missing something. I mean, the Rockies playing late last night. I get that, but they stayed home. I don't know how you trust this Tigers team like that. So yeah, it's Rockies or pass for me too.
So people saying here goes Sauce again on the Rockies. Hey man, I cast one out of those two bets, and then I was on the Dodgers last night. So went 2 in one of those series with a plus 180 cash in there. That was nice.
Yeah, I secretly bet the Dodgers team total by myself last night. Thank God.
You know what's crazy is on YouTube for that game, I said my score prediction, and I said it jokingly, was 20-2 Dodgers after 5 innings. And it was like 13-2. I like almost got it when I was joking. All right, so Yanks at Cardinals. Look, last night I think I said first 5 over. There's no way I'm betting this. I have no idea what to expect here. I think the Cardinals are going to get to Severino, but I think the Liberatore numbers at his true starts in Busch Field are bullshit, as I said. You know what? I'll read off a couple numbers, but I'll make it quick because I'm passing. I think Severino's going to get hit up. I think the Cardinals bats are going to be on an upswing for the next couple weeks. So that leans me towards the Cardinals, but I just can't get there with Liberatore. I know that if you look at his true home starts in Busch Field, he's got excellent numbers. He hasn't pitched against anybody. His 4 starts at home, the Brewers twice, the Pirates last year, and the Giants at the beginning of the season where they weren't hitting lefties. So I'm not going to throw him a parade for this. And then with how well the Yankees bullpen has been performing and the Yankees bats seem to be coming to life, it feels way too much like a coin flip.
Yeah, I'm on the Yanks and I'm on the over. Yanks at plus money. I don't really want to say that I think that their bats are all the way back, but I think after a perfect game and then putting up a whole bunch of runs like that, that's very, very positive for that team.
Wait, hold on. Would you still take the Yankees at a pick 'em? It's minus 110
now. No. Absolutely not. So then just over for me then. Just over for the show for me. I think both teams are more than capable of scoring runs here. There's no question about that for me. And then just one note I wanted to say about the Yankees. A lot of people make a lot of notes about Judge not being in the lineup, which is very true. But one thing I saw today from one of the Yankees beat reporters, Bader is the key guy in that lineup as well. Yankees are 24-9 when Harrison Bader plays this year. That's a pretty significant number when you think about it. So, yeah, I just want to pass that along. But, yeah, I'm definitely on the over. Nice weather here in St. Louis, just like we saw last night. And then also on top of that, I know that the major guys in St. Louis's bullpen didn't work last night, but they have worked a lot in the last few days. So I don't really think they're 100% either. So nice little lean to the Yanks and the bats as well there.
All right. Let's move on to the next one. Oh shit. Arizona at Angels, and so for this one, I went first 5 under. It's up at 5.5. And I'm betting this one too. This isn't just a lean because I couldn't find anything. I'm betting this one. First 5 under, 5.5. You know what? I want to do a poll for this one. I'd like to see what people think of the Angels here, because I like. If I had to bet a side, I would probably take the Angels in the first 5 because Griffin Canning has been so good, but I hate the price. So let me put a poll up. Just curious.
You're tripping, bro. Snakes. At plus 135? You crazy.
I mean, I won't play the Angels at this heavy price. Hold on, let me get the poll up. I won't play the Angels at this heavy price, but
I'm curious to see if anybody's on the Snakes.
Well, we'll see. I just put the poll up. So Tommy Henry. So I don't trust Tommy Henry. I know he's coming off 2 solid starts in a row, but then on the road here in LA, you can see his numbers on the road. He's got a 378 WOBA on the road with a 650 FIP. On paper, the Angels lineup should crush him, but the reason. So real quick, the Angels against lefties, in case you haven't heard, in the last 30 days, 11th in OPS, 8th in isolated power. But if you look at the last 8 lefty starters to pitch against the Angels, 2.09 ERA and a 1.39 WHIP. So yeah, the Angels are putting up some nice numbers against left-handed pitching, but if you actually look at the starters, they must be producing against the bullpens because they're not getting to the starters. That's what's keeping me off the Angels' first 5 here. And then Griffin Canning, this is the main reason for the bet. I think this dude is on fire right now. In his last 6 starts, he's got a 2.25 ERA, an 0.89 WHIP, a 3.43 expected FIP, and he dominates left-handed bats.
Against who? Who are those starts against?
I didn't write it down.
Colorado, KC, and Seattle. Go ahead.
I'm talking about his last 6 starts.
Okay. White Sox, Boston, Houston. But go ahead.
Yeah, Houston sucks.
They did 2 weeks ago.
No, well, his 6 starts ago would be like a month ago.
Yeah, 6-4 on Houston.
So anyway, against left-handed bats in that span, a 210 WOBA, an 069 WHIP, and a 376 expected FIP. He's been pitching great, getting lefties out. And Arizona usually starts a lot of lefties. Is Corbin Carroll starting? I don't believe he is, right?
Let me double check.
He had that neck injury.
Yeah, their lineup's not out yet. I haven't seen it. It's not posted yet.
So what I said last night was I expect Corbin Carroll not to play. We don't know. He just had the neck injury. But either way, I'm on the first 5 under here. I think both pitchers could sneakily throw a good game. It's up at 5.5. I think solely based on these pitchers' names. That's it. And I think it should be at 4.5.
Yeah, I'm on the Snakes here. Even with or without Corbin Carroll, I still really like this team. First and foremost, on the road against right-handed pitching, they're number 3 in Major League Baseball as far as WRC plus. Henry hasn't been great on the road, but Arizona, it seems like it's win day every time this dude takes the mound. They've won his last 6 or 7 starts, I think. I think it was 6. 6 starts. The Angels, I mean, yeah. Ohtani's very hot. I don't really trust the rest of the lineup. I watched almost all those games against the White Sox, and they didn't really do anything to impress me right now. Not really impressed with what their bullpen's doing either. I just feel like to get the Snakes at this plus price on the road where they've been fantastic this year, I really like betting the Snakes on the road. 24-14 on the road, the Snakes are this year. I can't pass it up at this big plus price.
All right, so the D-backs won the poll. More people on Arizona. And see, this is where the disconnect is. You were talking about the Arizona numbers against right-handed pitching. The last 8 righty starters to face Arizona have a 3.27 ERA and a 1.20 WHIP. They're not really getting to the righty starters like that. I think Griffin Canning can pitch great here. But I'm not even against you. Arizona might win. I don't know. First 5 under. I like the Angels in the first 5. But as I've said before, I don't love the Angels bullpen at all. So let's move on to the next one. And the next one is White Sox at A's. This has got to be the biggest pass of a game of all time. I'm not even going to type pass on the screen.
I spent 2 minutes on this game. Right. And I was like, you know what?
They don't even have a primary pitcher listed for Chicago. So me and Prop Beaver are like, I guess Tanner Banks is just going? Like, who the fuck even knows? Like, who even knows what they're planning to do? I guess they're just going to try.
Tanner Banks is just going?
Like, we got nothing. We were trying to figure it out like just a couple hours ago when Prop Beaver got here.
I am not going to wait to see and then who Chicago might be pitching and yada, yada. Yeah,
I just realized I skipped one of Prop Beaver's props. Whatever. All right. Rays at Mariners. I'm fading Shane O'Mac, as I said yesterday.
Yeah.
Give me Seattle. It's at plus 110 when I got it. You know what? Let me put the poll because I want 90% of people to be on Tampa. I want the whole world on them.
Just before you make your bets, people, just does it make sense? Does anything about this game make sense?
No, the books are giving out free money today.
Like, I called Sauce. I even called Sauce personally today on this one just to make sure I wasn't missing something because I was like, this has to be a Mariners bet here.
The thing is that me and Prop Beaver were thinking is that Shane McClanahan is hurt.
I don't buy into that, really. I
have a ton of notes for this game. So, first, you might be thinking the Mariners just got blanked by Patrick Corbin, also a lefty. So how could they possibly open up as favorites against Shane McClanahan? How does that make any sense at all? Well, first of all, if you break it down to night and day, yeah, the Mariners against lefties are basically the worst team in baseball during the day against lefties. But at night, they're top 7 in basically every category. So they've crushed lefties at night. They're 7th WRC+, 7th in isolated power. By the way, the last 9 starters to pitch against Seattle before Corbin, 7.54 ERA and a 178 WHIP. So Patrick Corbin was the outlier. They've been crushing other lefties. I know that Shane McClanahan, the name's going to scare you, but this dude is not himself right now. And before you say, like, no, he's fine, look at the line. Obviously, they agree with me. So in his we saw 2 straight starts where we saw drops in his miles per hour, spin rate, and break rate against in San Diego. And then his last start against Kansas City, his shit was way off. His fastball and changeup were a full 3 miles an hour below his season average. He's dealing with a back injury, and he's not 100%. The Royals just hit him up. 4 hits, 2 walks, and 2 runs allowed in just 3 2/3 innings of work. And we watched that game. He did not look right. Like, something's wrong with this guy right now. Seattle coming off an embarrassing game with Corbin. I think they get to Shane. And then Bryce Miller. You say what you want about Bryce Miller. Sure, Tampa's bats on paper may be able to hit him, but Tampa is their lineup is producing way differently than it was early in the season. Early in the season, they were crushing fastballs, but in the last 30 days, against fastballs, 25th in average, 22nd in slugging, 22nd in WOBA. So just things are different in Tampa. They're not the same lineup they were. I'm not saying they're bad, just different. And Bryce Miller has some great looking splits at home. He's been a beast at home. He got hit up by the Yankees in Seattle. So they had one bad home start. But if you look at his other 4 starts at home, other than the Yankees, 0.72 ERA, an 0.56 WHIP, he's been absolutely excellent. I think the Mariners win this comfortably. I'm on Seattle at the plus money.
Yeah. The whole Shane McClanahan injured thing, yeah, he got pulled, but he didn't want to be pulled. I don't know. I'm not betting that because of this. That's all I'm saying. I'm betting this because it didn't make any sense at this line in the first place. And I just think that, yeah, I think obviously the Mariners against left-handed pitching this whole month have been pretty damn good. So it's just really hard to not look at that line movement, look at all the bets and the money, and not think that the books love Seattle just as much. So I don't know. I don't know if I believe him, because if the only reason I say that is because if he was even a little bit, or if they thought that he was a little hurt, there's no way he pitches tonight. And the only reson I say that, they've already lost 2 guys this year.
So why would a fastball drop 3 miles an hour for 2 straight?
I'm not arguing with all of that. I'm just saying that it's hard for me to believe that the Tampa Bay Rays.
You're arguing with my research guy.
I'm not arguing with it. Because I believe there's no doubt about it that he hasn't looked good. There's no doubt about it. I'm just saying that I'm not betting it because I think he's hurt. I'm just saying that I think that Seattle is the side here today at home.
If the Rays win tonight, the books are losing a fortune. I'll say that.
Yeah, because absolutely. I'm well worth being on this side.
Yeah,
for sure.
All right, let's move on to the last. This actually has the writings of a game that has everyone running to Twitter saying it's rigged. Like, oh, but I don't understand. It didn't go exactly as I planned. Well, I'm a baseball expert. All right.
There's no question that he's not the same pitcher. Like, there's no question about that, regardless if he's injured or not. Like, yeah, that's probably it. But yeah, it's too weird of stuff to be going on right here.
All right, let's do the community parlay. 1 sec. Let me set up the screen here.
I got a couple props that I have that while he's setting that up really quick. I talked to you guys about Fraley. I also like Verdugo, Duran, and Yoshida all to get a hit tonight at plus 135. They all have really good numbers off of Barrios. Andrew McCutchen over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs at minus 105. And then Drill Your Mama himself, Jazz Chisholm over 1.5 total bases at plus 100 in Atlanta.
What'd you just call him?
Drill Your Mama.
Does he call himself that?
No, it's a joke. Somebody threw at him, and they said that if he did his little celebration that they'd throw at him, and he said, "Go ahead, drill your mama," and they made a shirt about it.
All right, so the first poll is Padres, Phillies, Brewers, Blue Jays.
I'm opening up a sports book.
Someone said, anyone remember the last time Toast picked against the Mariners? Laughing face. He picked the Mariners. He didn't pick against them.
And I bet against the Mariners a lot.
Yeah, it'd probably been pretty profitable to do that. I had Mariners.
Not a lot, but
I had Mariners under 86.5 wins is my favorite offseason bet, I think.
Oh, yeah. See, I was the exact opposite of that, but you're looking better than I am.
All right, let's give it another few seconds.
Maybe because they heard that I bet Seattle to win the World Series or something. I don't know. But that's just all as far as numbers. It's not like
Cleveland has a position player in pitching. It's just a deadlock tie. I can't head the.
I didn't even, man. I regret not taking the Cubs, but man, it seemed like it was free. Obviously, it was.
All right, it looks like Blue Jays money line wins for the first leg. Okay. First leg, Toronto money line.
Thanks for the support, guys.
Yeah. I mean, I sometimes it comes off as oh, right, because you were on Boston. Yeah, no, I meant because sometimes it comes off like I'm talking shit to someone if they bet the Rays, but that's not what I mean.
No, it's just trying to get the information out there to understand what's going on, like what we're seeing as well.
Put Rangers money line, and I'll put Astros money line. See if someone wants a big plus price in there. But with Giants and Braves in there, I would assume that.
Yeah, and then the Tigers you can put on the next one. It seems like because everybody's betting the Tigers too.
Yeah. I almost don't want to put that one on though.
No, I get it. I'm just saying.
No, see, but that's the thing. I want to be completely impartial when I'm doing the polls. I don't want to like exclude a team just because I don't like them. You know, this is
I get it. Yeah.
Parlay. Wow, Astros is getting votes here.
Okay. We got some sharps in here. We got some sharps.
Damn, I'm loving to start this day off with a win. I needed it. This Cubs game. 10-0 Cubs.
Minus 1.5 was plus 100 too.
Did you set that what you took?
No, it scared the hell out of me.
Yeah, I mean, it moved 40 cents overnight. I had the Cubs. It was at minus 162 last night, and I was like, it might be a bit pricey.
I mean,
woke up with minus 200.
The best play in that game, personally, I thought was first 5 run line, just because of Steele and then Quantrill. Then on top of that, the Cleveland bullpen was taxed. I don't know.
And the Cubs bullpen is good as hell, too.
I know. And I saw all the money, all the bets on them. And then I saw the Cubs run line at plus 100. And I was like, they're just literally asking me to take this. And I didn't do it.
All right, let's end this poll. Astros makes it.
All right. I love it. It's already a juicy parlay.
Yeah, this is going to be a savage one. So let's go. We might even have to cut it off at 3 legs. We're not trying to put out plus 2,100 parlays. So I'll put the Tigers in. Because, hey, people want the Tigers. D-backs money line. That's the underdog one.
Oh my God, I'd love that.
But it won the vote, so I'll put D-backs money line. White Sox money line against Oakland. I bet you that's got a chance. And you know what? Here you go, folks. Here are your Rays. Here are your Rays money line.
You guys want a little bit of extra luck on the stream?
Rays. Oh, no, wait. D-backs take the lead. What? We're going to put another plus money in this? Oh, wait, no. Here come the Rays back. D-backs at 39%. I'm going to give it 5 more seconds. This is a close one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Snakes it is. Wow.
887 on DraftKings. You probably get a little bit better somewhere else, but yeah, 887-ish.
Real quick, this will be a quick one. I'm doing quick poll, quick vote. One more leg of this parlay at 888. Yes or no? Please, for the love of God, say no, people. 81%. We have just a group of sick fucks watching.
Even the baby thought that was funny.
All right. So one more leg. I'm tailing this one too. It's gonna be just like such an outrageous parlay. All right. You know what? Let's do some second places. Let me scroll up in the chat and get some second places. So we got Rays, second place. We got Braves was a second place. We got Padres was a second place. And that was it. We only did 3. So I'll just do those 3. Rays, Braves, Padres. Let's finish this parlay up. Let's have ourselves a Friday night.
Out of those 3, I think the Braves would be the safest.
If this hits, I'm a freak
just because
out.
of the Marlins bullpen. Just because of the Marlins bullpen.
I don't know. I like the Padres today.
Yeah, I'm not there with you.
Ashcraft. I don't think the Reds will win and Ashcraft start the rest of the year.
I can't wait. I'm gonna be posting Ashcraft pictures to your timeline if he gets a if he gets a win. Not if they win and he doesn't, that's fine. But if he records a W,
no, I don't think they will win a game where he pitches.
Oh, I know what you said. I'm just saying that I'm not gonna post it just when they win because they win all the time. But if he gets a W, be ready.
Last 5 seconds. This is a close one. Rays or Braves? 5, 4. Oh my God, it's gonna be Rays. 3, 2.
Shame.
Oh, it's tied. 2, 1. End poll. And we got a photo finish. It's a tie. So we just got to do those 2. Rays. Sorry, it's taking longer. Rays, Braves. Just 2. So all the Padres voters can now choose between those 2.
It's crazy.
Watch this ties 50-50. Looks like the Padres voters are going Braves. And Cleveland's on the board. It is now 10-1. Miles Brennan home run. 10-9.
I want to go to Cleveland, or I want to go to Wrigley Field so damn bad.
3, 2, and it's Braves. And what are the odds on that?
Braves. 180. 1435.
Wow. All right, community parlay today. Toronto money line, Houston money line, Arizona money line, Atlanta money line, plus 1435. Thanks as always for watching. I'll be back tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. Toast, you're coming tomorrow morning, right? Prop Beaver, I'll talk to him. I don't know. He usually doesn't do Saturday mornings, but he's here, so I'll try to talk him into it. Everyone have a good night. Let's get some of the losses back. This is my worst. I had the worst MLB week of the year. I mean, it was bound to have a really bad week at some point. I'm kind of down in the dumps, even after a nice Wednesday too. But all right,
Boston losing that Bello start just ruined my weekend.
After 7 no-hit innings,
I just couldn't handle it. I was so ready for a new week. I can't wait to talk to you guys tomorrow.
All right, yep. Everyone have a good night. All right. Finally done.
And if you don't have